around. Flippity dippity.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
good. How about you?
Oh, not bad. Riley ran upstairs real quick. He'll be back.
Sweet.
Are you able to, are you able to see and hear it here?
Yep,
Okay.
perfect.
Great.
JoJo might be joining us. She's having a little weather issues in Canada right now, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Nice beard.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a while since we've talked. So how are things been?
Been good. I mean, been super busy. But busy business is good business. We got to go on our first tour in August. That was a lot of fun. And JoJo, I'm sorry, power's out, fam. Lame. But yeah, it's been really good. Been a lot of fun. Right now, we took a break for the rest of the year for shows. Our drummer's actually out of the country for the rest of the year. So we're basically working on recording our next album, which is going to come out next year, and then just working on content, basically.
That's awesome. I was actually going to ask you if you had any new music coming out, so we definitely can't wait for that.
Hell yeah. No, we're really excited. We have a single that we're trying to get out before the end of this year, but our external hard drive actually crashed and it had all the audio files on that. So we're trying to get that fixed so we can get it out this year, but as of right now, it's looking like it might be early next year, but we have some singles that are going to come out and some more covers before the actual album.
Oh, dang. Well, hopefully you can get that fixed. But yeah, that's exciting that we've got new music on the way.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
Riley.
Hey,
How's
how's it going?
it going? Good.
Oops, sorry.
We're on Insta. I don't think it matters.
Oh.
Does Instagram matter if we have a beer on the camera?
No.
Okay. Okay, cool. TikTok
Nice.
is super weird about that, so.
Yeah, I've heard. That's why we do Instagram. I don't know. TikTok's a little strange.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
how's the weather up in Washington?
Cold and rainy. It's very nice.
Yeah, I will say the last like 2-3 days have been really nice, but those are like the last nice days that we're gonna get for the season. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. So I'm in New Mexico, and we literally went from summer to winter. Like, it snowed 2 days ago. Like, we got massive amounts of snow, and everybody's like, it snows in New Mexico. I'm like, yeah, it actually does. But it's been pretty cold here.
I love New Mexico.
Winter's landed in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
I bet.
You guys need to come to New Mexico.
We're actually planning it right now.
Hell yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it looks like next year it'll probably be Albuquerque. We might try to sneak in like a Shiprock date at some point because we played there a bunch back in the day and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, probably Albuquerque.
Well, I'm in Albuquerque, so perfect.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I can't wait. You guys are awesome. All right, so for anybody who doesn't know, did you guys want to like introduce yourselves and explain a little bit about how Spirits got started?
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
I mean, Riley and I, we've been friends for over 12 years now. Actually, he used to be the old producer for my band, and then he was in a separate band. So we've always been close at the hip in the scene, but we've never gotten to work together, and that's something that I know on my side at least. Working with him as a producer with my other band, I'm not gonna lie, I was always thinking to myself, man, I want to be in a band with this dude. Like,
yeah, same.
Yeah, so both of our bands, we had our little runs with those bands, and they disbanded, and Riley hit me up with some music that he had been working on with a friend, and it all kind of blossomed from there.
Yeah, Sean wasn't looking to sing in this style of band initially, but then it, because at first it was going to be more of a straightforward like metalcore thing, and he was looking to do more of like the old school emo type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, well, why don't we just do both?
Yeah.
So it ended up working out really in a way that we're both really happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It definitely works though, because like emo and metalcore are like my two favorite types of music. So like join the perfect sound, like works perfectly. So
yeah,
awesome.
That was always kind of my gripe with metalcore too, is like I feel like the clean vocals were always kind of like, I don't know, like, oh, very end of the studio session, let's just throw like some clean choruses on it and call it good. And that was always kind of like my main thing. It's like, why can't we get like, some like Thursday vocals, like some Underoath, like, why can't we bring more of that into like this straight metalcore scene?
Yeah.
And like focus on it a little more.
Instead of cleans being like an afterthought.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I feel like so many bands are like doing the same thing. Like it's hard to stand out. So I think you guys are doing something great where you're taking a little bit of this and a little bit of that, trying different sounds and seeing what works. And so I think it definitely helps you stand out.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate that.
It's hard. The last time we talked was before you guys did the Backstreet Boys cover.
Yeah.
And, obviously that's exploded. So how has the response to that been?
I mean, honestly, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. It's really nice, especially on tour, to have a song that, you're playing in areas that people have no clue who you are. A lot of them are there to see their favorite local band. And so to be able to play a song where a lot of the people actually know the lyrics, I think that it helps like kind of draw us together, because you're not just sitting there not understanding what's going on. It might, I might see a band that I don't know and I really like their live performance. But I might be more inclined to follow that band or look into them a little bit more if they're able to throw something that I am really familiar with. So we've had a few bad responses, but they haven't been too bad. Like we played a punk show, and the minute we started playing it, a couple of the members of some of the punk bands were like, no, and then they walked out. But I mean that's all part of the fun for it. I mean,
that just makes me want to play it more.
Oh yeah, it makes me want to play it so much harder.
I love that response.
Yeah,
so much.
Yeah, totally.
Plus, it's like when you are playing in places no one knows who you are. Like, we like to, engage with people and like, let's have fun, let's party, let's make this like a cool night that we're all gonna enjoy. And it's like, it's cool to have something like that in there where it's like, it doesn't matter if you know us or not. Like, you definitely know this, so let's all be stupid and sing along to this 90s boy band song and have some fun together.
Exactly. Let's all perform it together. The crowd is the fifth Backstreet Boy when we play that song,
People love it too. Because like 90% of the shows I go to, like metal shows, they play some sort of Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, between sets, and literally everybody sings along. So
yep, 100%.
Yeah.
That's our next cover.
Yes.
That's NSYNC is our next cover.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, we're working on it right now.
I was always an NSYNC girl, so.
Hell yeah.
Those dance moves are way harder.
Yeah, they really are.
I can imagine. What's cool though is they're like coming together now, like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, and like doing stuff together. So it's cool to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Such a rivalry back in the day.
It really was. No, it was like Michael Jackson versus Prince. You liked one or you didn't like the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my best friend Jessica was Backstreet Boys and I was NSYNC, and we'd fight like constantly. I mean, it was always in good fun, but we'd be like, your band sucks, no, your band sucks.
Yeah.
All I can say is my sister had both CDs and I stole both CDs from her. So
yeah. It's funny though, because like I'd listen to the Backstreet Boys, but I'd have to pretend I didn't, so I could be like, the rivalry.
Yeah, you can't let the rest of the family down,
I'd have my No Strings Attached CD like in the background. Like I'm a Backstreet Boys Millennium guy, but then I'd have like No Strings Attached under the bed. Like they were both too good to only choose one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's funny. I know you mentioned a little bit about the tour. So how did that go?
It went really well.
Yeah.
It was obviously it's a learning experience. Riley and I are pretty versed in like touring, but when we've toured in the past, but obviously like anything, if you haven't done it in a long extended period of time, you kind of do start over. So it's one of those things. I mean, you're in close quarters with your best friends, but at the same time you're in close quarters with three other human beings. A lot of times in other bands it's even more than that. So I think it's one of those things where it's like you learn about each other, you learn about yourself, you learn about boundaries, and I think it's really healthy. And I'm glad that we started out with a little bit shorter tour this time to kind of dip our toes in, because I feel like next year it's we're pulling the stops out, and I think we'll really be ready for
next year is going to be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So it was good to have that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And like, you know a little bit more what to prepare for and things like that. So
Totally.
Exactly.
yeah. One of the things I love about you guys too is you have a Facebook group, which people can pretty much talk about anything, but like I love how you guys are so you know, for mental health, and you know, if anybody's going through anything, they can talk about it there. That's just amazing, because like today, you know, so many people are going through different things, and like it's awesome that you guys have created that type of space for people.
Well, and you know, we absolutely love it. It's entirely a collective effort. I do want to be upfront entirely. Actually, our Spirits fam Willow created the group. You know, we met her during the middle of the pandemic, and instantly it was like a family bond between us and her and her husband. So you know, she was the one that
Shout
came.
out Dave.
Exactly, Dave and Willow. You know, without them, I mean, they went to the trouble to create the group, to you know, instill the rules that are in the group and everything. And it really is. It's a super collective, you know, effort. We have a family member in there that actually created a mental health Discord server as well. So if you need like a direct contact with someone, that's available to the members in there as well too. So that's one thing we do like to stress is like, you know, we might be like the visualize or the face of it, or we might help direct people there, but we don't want people to think that we started it. You know, this is something that the family, exactly, the family started it. And that's why we always, you know, that's why we call people fam instead of calling people fans. You know, it's not one of those things where we consider people are fans. We consider everybody an integral part of the family. And I mean, without you guys, it's just a bunch of guys playing band practice in a in a studio. So I mean, it really there's a lot of working pieces in it, and we're really grateful for everyone we've met during the time.
Yeah, and it was going to start off as more of like a because we were doing a lot of reaction videos and stuff at the time, and that's how Willow and Dave found us. And it was going to start off as more of like a fan group, and Sean and we didn't like that idea that there was like a fan group for us. You know, it feels a little weird. So it's like, okay, well, you know, a lot of our music deals with like this mental health aspect. Why don't we like try to pivot more in that way? And like, you know, I know for me, especially, I mean, you know, in my early 20s, late teens, if there would have been a group like that, it would have been super helpful for me. So it's like, well, why don't we take this little platform that we have, and, you know, Willow can tailor it how she wants to, and then we can all put together this like cool place where like people can be more than just, you know, oh yeah, I like those Reactor guys too. Like people can become like actual friends and help each other in there. And that seemed a lot better to us.
Yeah, and I mean, we have two separate groups. The Spirit World is mental health based. It's not, you know, like a promote site or anything like that. Then we do have one it's just Spirit World, which is more of like a street team. But to be honest with you, I don't even really focus my time and energy on that one as much. Not because I don't like it. It's just I would rather focus my energy on something that's more inclusive and it's more everybody's part of it. You know, that group is available if anyone wants to take the initiative and go in there and kind of street team. That's totally fine.
And we appreciate it.
Exactly. Sure. I was just going to say we definitely appreciate that. But you know, like I said, the main focus for us right now is the mental health support group, because it's for everybody. You know, it's not just focused on us.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, shout out to Willow and Dave. If anybody wants to join the group, it's on Facebook, Spirit World. Check it out.
Look for the band's logo. That's how you'll know you're in the right spot.
What's really cool about you guys too is you do a lot of lives on like TikTok, and you know, a lot of giveaways and stuff. And it's really cool. Like you said, you consider everybody family, not just fans. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, musicians can, you know, play. But if you don't have a backing, you're not going to go anywhere. So it's really cool to see bands like you that, like, embrace your, you know, the people that help support you. So that's awesome. Did you want to talk a little bit about your lives and your giveaways and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we do reoccurring lives on TikTok. Wednesday is basically just kind of a one-on-one with the band in the stream. We sit there and talk, and then every one of our
each other.
Exactly, make jokes, you know, things like that. And then Saturdays we have a reoccurring stream where we do more. Riley's working on guitar tracking, like he's actually tracking today for our new album. And then we still do so for all of our live streams, if we get to 50 registers or more, we incorporate a merch giveaway. In fact, just to show you real quick, these are the winners from last week's giveaway, and then we had another one that won today, so we're going to be shipping that out as well. So that's what we try to tell people is like, you know, whichever stream that you can make it into, if you register for it, your name's automatically entered in to win some free merch. And we do it every week. You know, people have been really helpful on TikTok as far as like with donations and things like that. In fact,
and it's helped us get like, you know, it's helping us like pay off our van and get, you know, things we need for the studio and stuff like that. So we wanted to make sure it was like, okay, well, we don't want people just like throwing money at us and then that's kind of it. Like we wanted to make sure there was like a give back aspect where it's like, you know, you guys are all helping us a ton. So like, can we get some in there where like people can win something and be excited, and like then it's not a one-way street where it's just people giving us money and then, you know, that's it. We wanted like an element of like us giving stuff too, so it's not just them.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, and it's, you know, it's been very helpful, and it's a lot of fun too. You know, we have a little electronic wheel that we spin to get the first name of the person, and then we have another wheel that we spin that shows what merch they're going to win. So it's kind of like an emo game show that we're trying to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, speaking of merch, I saw Ari post a story this morning with your like Christmas shirt.
Yeah.
I literally ran to your merch store to get it. Like, that is awesome. And you
Hell
guys
yeah.
have awesome merch out right now. So like, who designs that?
This guy.
Well, I designed some of it, like the emo checklist t-shirt I designed. The more simplistic designs are mine, like the Nintendo t-shirt, the Rugrats, all that stuff. And then we do outsource, like, for example, our graveyard design. That was someone we sourced. That was actually out of country, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the Ouija girl design back here, that was from someone local here, as well as the lantern design.
Yep.
So, you know, basically, I'll put it this way: the tour merch is always going to be probably sourced, just because I'm not as well versed in creating things. I can do like funny, gimmicky things that are fun to have, but when we want something that really like translates how we feel as a band in an artistic way, that's when we'll outsource it for sure.
For now.
Yeah. For now, yeah. I'm trying to get better.
Very cool. Well, do you want to shout out your merch store for anybody who wants to go support you guys?
Sure, yeah. So we have one on Bandcamp, and that's it. I believe if you just search Spirits Novellas Bandcamp, it should pop up. And we've got all of our all the tour merch that we ended up not selling and stuff like that, like a bunch of different designs in there. We've got all that.
Yeah, and it's Bandcamp / I think it's Spirits Music WA. I think that's the actual logo or the number for that.
Cool.
Then we do have the online one, which is our Shopify. It's called the Spirit World. We do have a link tree on all of our socials that you can find these sites, and that's more of like the online designs. We do have a couple of tour designs on there, but for the most part, if you want like physical merch that we actually sell at shows and things like that, then you'll want to go to the Bandcamp one.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know. I know you talked a little bit about the new music that you guys have coming out. Can you talk a little bit about like your creative process when you're writing new stuff?
Yeah, it kind of varies, honestly. Sometimes I'll get like a line of words in my head, and then that'll kind of like dictate the feeling, and then from that, like I'll just have riffs popped into my head or whatever. Sometimes I'll start with the orchestra, and I'll write something on there that I really like, and then the instruments from there. But typically, yeah, it'll start with, you know, a riff or a chorus idea. I'll put that down on the guitar and then kind of try to build the song around that. And then after that's done, I'll go back through and put all the orchestra over it and figure all that out. And then basically, by the time Sean hears it, it's usually like a semi-finished project, and then he'll say, you know, I don't like that breakdown there, move it there. That should be longer, that should be shorter. So he tweaks it to where like it'll work better vocally, because you know, I don't know what he's gonna want to do, so he'll kind of take what I'm doing and tweak it, make it fit with. He'll put vocals on it, and that's pretty much how we work.
Yeah, and like we'll kind of, you know, lot of the thing that works really well in this band is everyone's open for constructive criticism. So,
Yeah.
you know, for example, a song that we have, Liars, it's going to be on our full length. And the initial chorus that I sent Riley, he said, you know, this is good, dude, but I think it could be better. And, you know, I'll be honest, you know, when you send something to someone, especially if you're in a band with them, you feel at your time that that's the best you could do. So you kind of have to separate yourself from that. And, you know, initially it hurts, but I went back and I spent some time on it, and I sent him the chorus that we have now, and his response was, where was this the first time? So it's kind of one of those things where...
And that happens with riffs too.
Exactly. So it's like, if you can kind of set yourself aside and realize that everybody has the same goal to make it the best product as possible, I think that you're gonna do yourself a justice, because I could have gone one of two ways. I could have, you know, gotten my feelings hurt and focused on that, or, you know, I did what I did, and I was like, all right, you know, I want to create something that's up to my best friend's standard as well too. I don't want to put something out that that he feels that could improve. So that would be my biggest piece of advice to anyone in a band, is just be open to... Just trying to hurt your feelings. It's just you lucked out and got someone that's honest about it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's, you also have to recognize that it's not always like the right time for certain stuff. So like there are certain things that are going to be on this album that never would have got the okay for the first EP, because they're heavier and, you know, a little more aggressive or whatever. Like, it wouldn't have fit the first album, and it would have got shot down by the band, but it fits perfectly for this one. So it's like, you have to recognize that too. And like those old songs that we ended up not using, and then we re-listened to them a couple months ago, and it's like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, this is mediocre. You know what I mean?
Or just wouldn't fit the vibe at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good outlook to have too, because like sometimes when you're so close to something and you think, oh, this is amazing, then someone else listens to it and they can hear something that you may not be able to hear because they didn't create it. So it's definitely good to have that open mind, and that's how you know, the best bands go on, because, you know, you don't want to be in a band with someone who like shoots down all your ideas and just tells you, oh no, this sucks, we're doing it my way. Like, there's no growth in that.
Yeah, it's definitely a happy medium, and obviously the delivery of the message, you know, definitely comes into play in that. I would also say to fans of bands, and especially friends and family of bands, the best gift you could give to a band is being honest. You know, if you have a friend's band and you go and you see them live, and let's say they're not as good as maybe they think they are, I'm not saying that you know, this is where delivery of the message comes in. I'm not saying you say, hey man, you suck, but you definitely can do them a lot more justice if you're like, dude, that was amazing, you know, you guys are gonna make it, when really you know in your heart that there's things they can improve on. So rather than doing that, you know, be honest with them. You know, say, hey man, you know, I think that you guys have something good, but I think that you guys need to lock it in a little bit more, spend a little bit more time practicing, you know, because at the end of the day, when you're in a local band and you just have an echo chamber of friends that are worried about hurting your feelings, that's not going to help you get to that next level.
When you go ear blind to it too, like if you're the ones doing it, like there are things that are blatantly bad that you just genuinely don't notice. Like for us in particular, there was a period there where I was having a really hard time with like playing guitar and singing all the vocals at the same time.
Right.
But I thought it was more of the vocal end that I was struggling with, so I focused all on that. And then I became a way sloppier guitar player.
Right.
And then Sean's wife actually was like, hey, you know, that's sloppy as fuck.
She is very, she's very honest.
You know, but it didn't even occur to me.
Right.
I didn't notice it.
Right.
So, but that's where that becomes super helpful, because as soon as it was pointed out, you know, you listen back to videos and it's like, oh shit, that's what that sounds like. We can't have that.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, got to be honest.
So, what's on your guys' playlist right now? Is there anybody that would surprise people?
I mean, I'm always floating back into stuff that I grew up on. So I mean, like, I had Gloria Estefan pop on my playlist the other day, and I was rocking out. Come on, baby, do that motion.
I don't know that it would surprise anyone, but I listen to a lot of like death metal and black metal. I feel like that's pretty widely known by anyone who knows who I am. So I don't know that that's surprising, but I listen to a lot of that, and I listen to like film scores for like 1920s movies, like Phantom of the Opera and stuff like that. I like that stuff.
Very cool.
And boy band.
Gotta have the boy bands on there.
Absolutely.
All right, if anybody in the chat has any questions, you can put them in there. JoJo said she was just listening to MMMBop a little while ago.
Yes. Yeah, so we like to feature some spin music when we're spinning the wheel for the merch contest. So Riley actually chose MMMBop for the music for this one. It was a lot of fun.
I had to.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't heard it in like a month. That's way too long.
I don't know, a little piece of useless information. I don't know if they still hold the record, but Hanson actually had the record for the loudest decibel level for a live concert.
Is that true?
And the reason is because all the fans have that high pitch. Kid you not. I don't know if they still hold that record, but I know they did.
Fantastic. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be hard to beat. Taylor wants to know if you guys like Creed.
Oh, I love Creed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially with old Creed. My Own Prison is perfect from front to back. If you don't agree, fight me.
It's so funny because like I see all these memes on Creed and I like send them all to her and we like joke about Creed all the time. But I'm like, if Creed comes here, we are going and we are gonna have a blast.
So
I bet it would be a really good show, actually.
It would be great, and Creed is the victim of the same thing. Don't get me wrong, Nickelback had some songs that were cringy. We all know that. But Creed and Nickelback were both victim of becoming too popular. I feel like if a band reaches a certain level of popularity, the next generation is doomed to hate that band. And I saw an interview with Scott Stapp, and he said, how does it feel from going, Scott said, he's like, I was on the cover of Guitar Magazine during like the actual heyday of Creed. And he's like, I went from that to being like one of the most hated vocalists ever, So yeah. I think overplay on the radio, karaoke, all that stuff, I think that's what really doomed those two bands.
Yeah, I would agree. And just that whenever you're doing something that's like super, you can pinpoint to a certain era, like when you hear Scott Stapp's voice, it's like, okay, Shell Necklace, Jinko Cheese, like people, you know what I mean? Yeah. When you can pin it down to that, like I feel like there's something there too that people are not a fan of.
And sorry, I didn't realize we had more comments down there. It was just frozen, so we didn't see any of those comments. I apologize.
You're fine. Everybody's talking about Dad Rock now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Corey Taylor's opinion definitely had an impact on that.
Definitely. Most definitely. And how what's the vocalist Chad, how Chad responded.
Chad Krieger.
Yeah, there's some things that I can't really help him out with, you kind of make your own bed in certain situations.
Yeah. I mean, look at Ronnie Radke. Speaking of, has he ever responded to your cover of Falling in Reverse?
He did not. So we had heard that he was going to. I think what ended up happening with that is we weren't trying to spam his Twitch streams ever, but we would go in there and then people would kind of start spamming, hey, check out their cover. So I think he just got irritated and was like, finally, fuck it, I'm not going to check it out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, totally fair enough. I'm not knocking him for it.
I also thought that we were like trying to coattail him,
right?
Because we would do reacts to all the new Falling in Reverse stuff just because we liked it and we found it super interesting. And he was doing those where he'd like check out the reactions, and I think he saw us like 7-8 times, and eventually it was just like, this is totally a guess, but he went from like being really supportive to just I think that he started to feel like we were trying to like catapult off his name.
Right.
And so I think he got irritated, but for the record, that was certainly not the case. But
yeah, just a speculation. But
he wasn't being a dick by doing that. It just like that would irritate me too.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened there.
I can see that, but I can guarantee if you like irritated him that much, I'm sure he would have like called you out, knowing him.
Oh,
yeah, probably.
No, if we did something that really was out of line of what he wanted us to do, he'd let us know.
Any favorite new bands or songs right now?
I'm not a new band, but I'm still stuck on Misery from Silverstein. Just an
That
absolute.
song is fucking great.
I kid you not, this summer I was listening to it mowing my lawn and I started crying. And I'm so glad I was wearing sunglasses because, like, all my neighbors were out. And, like, it's a beautiful day. I had no reason to cry, but it's such a powerful song.
It is.
Massachusetts.
I love Silverstein.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've been listening to this band called Watain a lot. They have this really good album called Lawless Darkness, if you like more extreme metal. So it's been a lot of them, and then Currents and Holding Absence.
Hell yeah.
Those are big bands for me right now.
I love both of those bands. Yeah, the new Currents album is awesome.
It is.
Also, not super familiar with their catalog, but Hot Milk, man. They've had a couple of songs that have popped up on my playlist, and I'm glad that I put them on there because, damn, they got some great writing. And I never would have checked them out because of their band name. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I've
feel like
actually never even heard of them, so I'll have to check them out.
Hot Milk, check them out. Check them out.
Also, there's this band from New York called If I Were You. They're, like, in my opinion, delivering some of the best metalcore ever. They're fantastic. They have a new album out. Well worth the listen. And there's a band from Vancouver, BC called Parting Ways. They have an album called Meant Well that's come out recently, and that is if you like post-hardcore emo, Parting Ways is a band I would highly recommend. They do not get enough appreciation.
Definitely have to check those out. Serenity wants to know songs that give you shivers or goosebumps.
This Time Imperfect by AFI.
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say I Won't Give Up, Jason Mraz, and it's the cheesiest reason, but it's my wife and I's wedding song. And actually, it was really cool. My buddy Patrick, he's a producer. When we played it during our wedding, he had actually recorded me and my wife singing it. So that was really cool.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Is that the...
I won't give up on us, even if the sky...
That's a great song.
Yeah.
That is. Altogether wants to know, what do you hope fans take away from your music, and how do you stay motivated to share your message?
I would say, as far as taking away from our music, as cliched as it is, just be who you are. Don't be scared about being different. If anything, it's more beautiful to be different than be the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of judgmental people out there, and there's a lot of people that feel like they have to whisper because of that. And I say, fucking just yell. Be as loud as you can.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
To yourself.
Yeah. Life's way too short to hold yourself to standards of a lot of times people that you probably aren't even going to meet in your life. And I think social media has definitely tested those boundaries even more so than we had to back when we were growing up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Or is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Anything else?
I don't know.
I think we covered it. We got new music coming out.
What about you? What's new in your life?
Exactly.
I've just been super busy. I went to Aftershock like a month ago. That was crazy. That was amazing. Like one of my favorite bands from Aftershock was Architects. They are amazing.
Oh yeah.
I'm so jealous. I haven't got to see them yet.
Yeah, I didn't get to see their tour because they didn't come here, and then it's like, okay, they're gonna be at Aftershock, and they just went crazy. And like, there's the way they set up their pits is they have like this thing down the middle, and you have like each side. So he's like, I want a pit on each side. So all of a sudden, shit just goes crazy, and they ended up having to call the medics for like the pit on the other side. People are wild. But it was fun.
Yeah.
So there's like a big walkway in the middle?
What?
There's like a big walkway in the middle?
Yeah, so like the artists, when they're not performing, they like walk down the middle. So then they just have the each side that you get to stand on. So
That's
pretty cool. But
oh yeah. Hell yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah, I've just been living life, going to shows. Being over Colt we stopped doing interviews for a while because everyone was so busy, but glad you guys are our first interview back.
Hell yeah.
Talk to you guys again, and we're always here to support you. So,
and likewise,
we
you
can't wait
guys
for
have
the
been
new-
awesome.
Let's see. A couple of comments came in. Serenity says, "Love you guys. Got to clean up the Liam Lounge. Have him make."
okay. Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Jojo says, "If there's any new people in here, be sure to follow Spirits on their socials and
Thank
streaming
you. Thank you for that.
Definitely follow Spirits everywhere."
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, check out their merch. They have some really amazing merch.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm so glad we got to catch up with you guys. Can't wait for the new music.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope you guys have a good holiday.
You too.
It's
Too.
that time of year where
It's
gonna be
coming.
crazy holidays coming up.
Yeah, I've already drank way too much Dairy Gold eggnog already.
We're gonna have to mix up some hot toddies here pretty soon.
Right.
Exactly. Well, stay warm, and hopefully I catch you guys on tour next year.
Hell yeah.
We'll be down there. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of April to June for New Mexico.
Hell yeah.
Let me know. Well, I'll take you out to eat somewhere.
Done.
Hell yes.
Get some green chili.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the green chili.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, this was fun. Thanks so much for coming on, and hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday.
Yeah, you as well. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.